What's up, everyone? My name is Daniel. I use they, them pronouns, and um, props recommended for the class, just a blanket roll or a towel roll, something like that to support the body as we will hold a yin inspired shape at the end of the practice. What I want to focus on for our practice today is finding joy in the journey. So often we get caught up and attached to kind of the end goal or an expectation for the end goal, so to speak. And um, when we do that, we forget to take moments of pause. We forget to find peace and joy in the moments that get us there, right? And so, as we navigate this practice on the mat today, I want to really cultivate a space for santosha, which is contentment. It's the second of the five niyamas, if you're unfamiliar. And um, when we tap into that contentment and us finding a settling in where we are now, we're able to get grounded in this heart and allow this heart to hold a foundation for us that doesn't have us reaching outside of ourselves for happiness, for validation, for any of it. And we kind of come inward and find peace in the journey, find peace in our place as we are right now. And when we can find that, we navigate this life with more grace and more ease. And so that's what we're focusing on today. When you're ready, I'll see you on the mat. As we begin to close the eyes, just taking a moment to kind of check in, to tune in and see how we're arriving on this mat today. And as we take this moment to tune in, allowing the breath to begin to deepen, releasing any control of the breath in this moment and just letting the breath breathe you, noticing through that practice how the breath deepens on its own. Without making any changes, feeling like we need to remedy anything or alter anything, finding contentment here and now in this present space. As you allow yourself this moment of peace, notice if there's any adjustments in the physical space that can be made to offer the energy some more freedom in the body. Maybe starting with the sitting bones, rooting a little bit further into the mat, letting the pelvis get a little heavier. Allowing energy to lengthen through the spine. Feeling each vertebrae grow a little bit longer. Sitting up a little bit taller. And then the heads of the shoulders can start to melt down the back so the collarbones begin to broaden. And as you find that space in the collarbones, allowing the heart to shine a little brighter. And then noticing if the chin is pressing forward or tucking towards the chest, gently lift the chin and slide the throat back so the back of the head is in line with the back of the heart. Unlocking the energy to rise to and through the crown of the head. And we'll take about 2 more breaths here. Noticing if the thoughts are pulling you away. There's expectations set for this practice, for yourself in this practice, and allowing all of that to dissolve. And then the hands can start to float up and meet in a prayer position in front of the heart, gently tilting the chin to the heart. And as you pause to breathe into this space, pausing to honor this heart, to commit to this heart, and to connect to this heart. This is the place when we get grounded here and align with this truth that lies here. We stop reaching outside of ourselves for any of that peace, that joy. And we find contentment in each present moment. So maybe creating an intention that supports that supports you in your journey. And maybe the word contentment is really resonating with you, and that's the guide for your practice, whatever it may be. Just one more breath in this space, allowing your intention to infuse into your space. And then slowly allow the hands to float down to the knees. Lift up the chin and open the eyes. Good. Begin to shake out the legs. When you're ready, you can shift the weight to one side, remove any props that you might have, and the wrists will stack under the shoulders, knees under the hips to find a tabletop position. So as we enter our tabletop position, finding a groundedness through the hands, the inner edges of the hands, the outer edges of the hands. Curl the toes. Inhale to look up and draw the shoulders onto the back. Turn the eyes of the elbows forward. As you exhale, press the tops of the feet into the mat and round the upper back. Inhale to look up, shoulders coming onto the back. The gaze lifts, the tailbone lifts. And then exhale, press into the hands, round the upper back. Good. Once more, inhale. And exhale. And on your next inhale, find a neutral position with the spine. And we're going to create circles with the ribs here. So on your next exhale, melt the heart between the shoulders and imagine the ribs moving towards the right wrist. And then circle the ribs around towards the left wrist, round the upper back. Again, creating these circles with the ribs and with the heart space. Maybe inhaling to lower and exhaling to dome through the upper back, and maybe vice versa with the breath. Whatever is working best for you, we'll take 3 more circles in this direction. And as we start to unlock energy in the heart to find a groundedness here, working through all layers of the heart, whether it's the front, the back, or the side bodies, without stopping, fully allow the body to circle in the opposite direction. Noticing any places that are feeling more stuck than others, and finding the breath, helping to clear that energy. We'll take 2 more circles in this direction. And then slowly allow the body to find stillness. Walk the hands forward, keeping the hips stacking over the knees, coming into a extended puppy pose. So the third eye center will reach for the mat, reach the fingertips long. Good. Perfect. And as the tailbone presses towards the sky and the heart melts towards the mat, trying not to force the heart between the shoulders. So using the breath to allow gravity to deepen the pose. Letting go of the idea that this pose needs to look any certain way, show up in any certain way in the body today. And we're going to take about 5 more breaths here. Good, and then slowly take the gaze forward in between the hands. Start to shift the weight forward. Lower the heart towards the mat, coming into a low Cobra pose, pressing the tops of the feet into the mat and drawing the shoulders down the back. Take a breath in. Exhale to melt towards the mat. Good, once more like that. Inhale, shoulders coming onto the back. The heart lifts, press the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, melt towards the mat. And then press into the hands, send the hips back towards child's pose. Take 1 full round of breath here. On your next inhale, shift the weight forward, curl the toes, press up and back into downward facing dog. Beginning to pedal out the feet, finding a little bit of space in the hips and the hamstrings. Good. And then slowly allow the body to come into stillness. Press the inner edges of the hands towards one another to wrap the forearms towards each other. And then press the outer edges of the hands into the mat so the triceps roll outward. Notice if that creates a little bit more space for the heart to melt. Take 1 more breath. And then take the gaze forward in between the hands. Slowly walk the feet all the way to the top of the mat. Maybe the hands meet the shins as you inhale to look up and lift halfway. Exhale to fold over the legs. Hands can stay connected to the shins or reach for the floor. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach the arms into the sky. And then exhale to cactus the elbows. Let the shoulder blades create a shelf for the heart to lift the heart. Inhale, reach the arms high once again. And exhale, fold over the legs. Good. Inhale, look up, lift halfway. Fingertips meet the mat. Step the left foot back. Lower the left knee to the mat. Take both hands to the standing right leg. Let the hips start to sink towards the floor as the heart lifts. Good. Take a deep breath in to reach the arms into the sky. As you exhale, again, cactus the elbows, lift the heart. Just a gentle back bend here. Inhale, press the arms forward, palms come towards one another. And then wrap the right arm under the left. Hook the hands for eagle arms. If the hands don't connect, the hands can remain free of one another. From here, press the elbows away from you. Lift the hands a little higher, draw the shoulders onto the back, and then press the hands towards the sky. Again, another gentle back bend. Take 2 more breaths like this. And then slowly unwind the arms, find a neutral position with the spine, stretch the arms into the sky. As you exhale, the hands come down to frame the right foot, step the right foot back into a plank pose. Lower the knees to the mat, then the chest and the chin follow. Slide the heart forward, low cobra. Exhale takes you back, downward facing dog. Good, and again, inviting in gentle movement if that feels good, or holding in stillness. Really tuning into what's working in your body in this moment. And again, letting go of attachment to what we think these poses should look like, and allowing yourself to be with what is, contentment in each moment. Take the gaze forward in between the hands, tiptoe the feet all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, look up, lift halfway, hands can meet the shins. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, stretch the arms into the sky, rise all the way up. Exhale, cactus the elbows, lift the heart. Inhale, press the hands towards the sky. And exhale to fold. Good. Inhale, look up, lift halfway. Exhale, fingertips meet the mat. This time, right foot steps back. Lower the right knee to the mat. Take both hands to the standing left thigh. Let the hips start to sink. Good. Perfect. One more breath in. Long, slow breath out. Inhale, arms come into the sky. Cactus the elbows, lift the heart. Press the palms towards one another, reach the arms forward as the back of the heart spreads behind you. This time, left elbow under the right, hook the hands. Press the fingertips towards the sky, draw the shoulders onto the back. Good, and then reach the hands into the sky, gazing towards the hands. And just 2 more breaths here. And then slowly unwind the arms, reach the arms into the sky, find a neutral spine. Hands can come down to frame the left foot, lift the right knee, step the left foot back for plank. Move through a flow if you'd like to do knees, chest, and chin, and cobra, or find downward facing dog right away. Really allowing yourself to be in choice about where the body wants to go. And once you've landed in downward dog, 2 full breaths. Good. Gaze forward in between the hands, tiptoe the feet all the way to the top. Inhale to look up, lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Separate the feet a little bit wider than the hips here, and then interlace the fingers. Take the hands to the back of the head and allow the hands on the back of the head to let the heart rest a little closer to the legs. And you can sway from side to side. Just taking this moment of release with the hands resting at the base of the skull to find some space at the back of the neck. We'll take 1 more breath like this. And then slowly release the fingertips to the mat. Walk the hands about, or the feet rather, about hips distance apart. Inhale, look up, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the palms into the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Good, perfect. We'll take the right leg into the sky when you're ready. Bend the leg at the knee and open the hip. Stack the right hip over the left. And then start to square the hip, draw the right knee towards the nose, place right foot forward in between the hands, using the support of the hand to get it there if you need to. Rise into a high crescent pose this time. As you exhale, reach the right hand for the mat on the right side. Send the left arm over the ear. 1 more breath like this. And then inhale back to center, sweep the arms by the ears. As you exhale, left hand meets the mat, right arm comes into the sky, twist. Looking up towards the right hand. Using a block under the left hand to support the body if you need to, or keeping the hand connected to the mat. And you can stay here, or you could cactus the elbow and lift the heart a little higher, creating a bit more of a twist through the front body. Option to lower the back knee to the mat if that feels a little bit better. One more breath. Good, and then send the right hand down to frame the right foot wherever you are. Step back into downward facing dog. 2 full breaths in your downward dog, taking these moments to pause, to reset, to reconnect to the intention that you set at the beginning of this practice, to allow yourself to find that joy in the journey. When you're ready, the left leg will come into the sky. Good. Bend the leg at the knee and open the hip so the left hip stacks over the right, creating a little bit of space in the front of the left leg where the hip flexors, the psoas. And then start to square the hip, draw the left knee towards the nose. Gently place the left foot forward in between the hands, using the support of the hand to get it there. Inhale to rise all the way up into a high crescent pose. As you exhale, send the left hand towards the mat, right arm stretches over the ear. Good. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, the right fingertips to the mat. Left arm will stay into the sky. You can always lower the right knee to the mat or keep it lifted depending on where you want to go in your practice today. And then maybe cactus the left elbow to turn the heart towards the sky a little bit more. Really drawing that left shoulder down the back to find some space at the front of the heart. Take 2 more breaths. And then left hand comes down to frame the left foot, step back into downward facing dog. Option to move through a flow or hold here in your downward dog. Good, we have 3 more breaths. And maybe the eyes softly close in this downward dog, allowing these 3 breaths to have you turn inward when we shut off the sense of the eyes that pull us outward so frequently. How can we allow ourselves this opportunity to go deeper? Good, 1 more breath here. Rise onto the toes, bend deeply into the knees, lower the knees to the mat at the same time, and then take the forearms to the mat. From here, walk the knees back slightly so the knees are behind the hips, and then pull the weight forward so the heart comes through the shoulders, coming into a Sphinx pose, flatten the tops of the feet into the mat. And then to activate the pose a little more, press into the tops of the feet so the kneecaps start to lift. Press the finger pads into the mat, and imagine you're drawing the mat towards you as the heart reaches through the shoulders. And taking 3 full breaths here. If there's any kind of crunching in the low back or it's impacting the low back, separate the feet a little bit wider than the hips to create some more space. Just 1 more breath like this. And then you can stay here if you'd like, or turn the hands out so they're off the mat, press into the hands and lift the heart a little higher for seal pose. Again, 3 breaths here. Keeping the legs active to protect the low back. Good, just 1 more breath. And then elbows meet the mat, turn the fingertips forward, curl the toes, press the hips up and back, walk the hands back and make your way into downward facing dog once again. We'll take the right leg into the sky when you're ready. Step the right foot forward in between the hands. Rise into a high crescent pose once again. And from your high crescent pose, we'll reach the arms forward. Taking on eagle arms, right arm comes under the left. Hook the hands if that's accessible. If not, hands stay free. Press the elbows towards the sky, draw the shoulders down the back. 1 more breath like this. And then we'll pivot the left heel down parallel to the back of the mat, as if you're coming into warrior 2. Good. Once you have that, starting to move towards humble warrior, so the arms will reach towards the inner edge of the right leg. Good. If this is a lot in the body and really intense in the hips, you can lower the back knee to the mat, turn the left toes behind you, and come here for a variation that offers the hips some more space. Wherever you are, we have 3 more breaths. Keeping the shoulders active, rounding through the upper back, pressing the fingertips long. Good, 1 more. And then from wherever you are, unwind the hands. Hands come down inside the right foot. Turn the left toes back if you're on the knee. If you were on the foot, pivot onto the ball of the left foot. Everybody step back into downward facing dog. Good. And then pedal out the feet. Notice the space at the right hip. And we'll switch sides. Left leg comes into the sky. Step the left foot forward in between the hands, finding a crescent pose. Inhale, arms come up. Reach the fingertips forward. Left arm will hook under the right. And finding your eagle arms. Good. Excellent. And then start to press the fingertips, the elbows towards the sky. Melt the shoulders down the back. Take the right foot down parallel to the back of the mat as if you're setting up for warrior 2. And then moving into your humble warrior variation, the heart will melt towards the inner edge of the left leg. Again, if you'd like some more space in the hips, lower the right knee, turn the right toes back, and then find this variation of your humble warrior. We have 2 more breaths. Good. And then unwind the hands, palms come into the mat. Pivot onto the ball of the right foot wherever you are. Send the left hand on the outside of the left foot. Move back into downward facing dog. 2 full breaths here, or find a flow. If you'd like to move through plank, knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. Your inhale will take you to upward facing dog or cobra. And then moving back to downward dog. Good. Once we're all in downward dog, 2 more breaths. And then rise onto the toes, bend into the knees, lower the knees to the mat at the same time. Send the hips back towards the heels for child's pose. And in this child's pose, opt to take the knees wider than the hips to allow the heart to rest towards the mat. Maybe you keep the arms reaching forward. Maybe take the hands into a prayer position and the prayer position to the base of the skull. So you press into the elbows and get a little bit more length in the triceps, in the backs of the arms and in the shoulders. Good. Perfect. And then start to extend the fingertips onto the mat. Take the gaze forward in between the hands. Pull the heart forward into your tabletop position. Curl the toes, coming back into downward facing dog. Good. Shift the weight forward into plank position. Lower knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga all the way to the mat. We're going to take the right arm out in a T position and extend the left fingertips out to the side. Bring the right ear to the mat and then begin to roll onto the right side body. Good. You can keep the legs stacked if that feels good, if that feels like enough in the body. You can even bend into the knees to stack the knees on top of one another. If you'd like to move a little bit more into the right shoulder, bend the left leg at the knee and step the left foot behind the right leg. And you can even walk the left hand a little bit closer to the body, maybe even behind the back body. And maybe you try on a variation and it doesn't quite work, so you release it. About 8 more breaths here. And as we find pause in this pose, a lot of times the lack of contentment comes from a desired outcome, attachment to a desired outcome. And so without holding any of that in this space, allowing yourself to breathe into the space being created in the body in gratitude for all that is. And just 2 more breaths. And if you had the left knee bent and pointing towards the sky, stack the left ankle on top of the right. If the left hand was behind the back, walk it in front of the body, and then left fingertips walk out to the side as you roll onto the front body once again. Extending the left arm out in a T position, rolling to the left ear. And then taking the weight to the left side body, sliding the right fingertips in. Stacking the legs if that feels good, stepping the right foot behind the left, even bringing the right arm behind the body. Just tuning into any sensation that's starting to rise. Without resistance for the sensation, without judgment for where you are in your space today, but the recognition that as we grow and shift and change, every single day is going to look different in our practices on and off the mat. And when we can find this contentment in each moment in the journey, we find more moments of peace and of grace, and being gentle with ourselves every step of the way. Just about 5 more breaths here. And then as you're ready, stacking the right leg on top of the left if it's not there, walking the right fingertips out, rolling onto the front body once again. And then pressing into the hands, moving through a tabletop position to make your way into child's pose. And in this child's pose, connecting the knees at the front body, if you do have that blanket roll or a bolster or a pillow, you can come to rest on that. So that can come in front of the heart and you can hug that or wrap your arms around the neck, creating a bit of a counter stretch in the shoulders. So after drawing the shoulders onto the back, allowing the front of the heart to rest. And if you don't have a prop, you can allow the heart to rest over the knees, and same thing, just reach for the heels. So we'll take about 3 more breaths here. And then walk the fingertips forward. Make your way back into downward facing dog. And in this downward dog, just noticing, taking an inventory of the space in the body. Feeling the space at the shoulders, the front of the heart, the back of the heart. Maybe the heart, again, has a little more space to melt towards the leg. Good. Just 1 more breath like this. And then take the gaze forward in between the hands, tiptoe the feet all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale to look up, lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, reach the arms into the sky. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Good. We're going to inhale, reach the arms high. As you exhale, send the right hand towards the right knee. Left arm comes over the ear, creating a little bit of a crescent shape in the body. Notice as the right side body is compressing, trying to find a little bit of space there. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale, switch left hand towards the left side, right arm over the ear. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. From here, get grounded through the left foot, draw the right knee towards the chest. Cross the right ankle over the left knee and gently bend into the left knee. creating a little bit of a figure four shape with the body. Good. And then we'll reach the arms forward. Take the right arm under the left, hook the hands for eagle arms once again. If this challenges the balance a lot, the hands can stay at heart center. But if you'd like to work into the shoulders a bit more, you can stay here. And the more you send the hips back and the heart towards the right leg, the deeper the stretch is in the outer edge of the hip. Just one more breath. Good. And then stand tall, unwind the arms, release the legs, shake out the legs. Good. Switching sides, drawing the left knee towards the chest, crossing left ankle over right knee, pressing the left knee out, gentle bend in the right knee. Hands can stay exactly as they are. Really focusing on releasing tension in the hips here. If you'd like to get into the shoulders, arms can reach forward. Left arm under right this time, hook the hands. Just 2 breaths. Perfect. And then stand tall, unwind the arms, shake out the legs. Inhale, arms come into the sky. Exhale to fold over the legs. Good. Make your way back into downward dog, however you'd like. And then we'll rise onto the toes, bend into the knees, let the knees meet the mat, flatten the tops of the feet to the mat and have a seat on the heels. Hands can come to the legs. If this isn't comfortable in the feet, you can always curl the toes under and have a seat on the heels. That'll be deeper into the toes. And if none of that's super comfortable, you can invite a block in between the legs and come into a supported Virasana, supported Hero's Pose. So whatever is working best for you. We're gonna floss out through the neck and the shoulder nerves. So we're gonna take the right arm out to the right side as if you're pressing the wall away from you. And just be mindful of stretching through these spaces. It's delicate in the nerves. So as you press the right hand away, hold here and notice any stretching that's already taking place in the wrist. From here, bring the left ear towards the left shoulder. Good. Inhale, bring the head back to center. We're going to do that about 5 times. Exhale to lower. Inhale to center. Exhale to lower. Good. Inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale back to center. Exhale to lower and hold. And as you hold here, without forced action, just allowing that space to be created. So if you spend a lot of time at a desk, at a computer, even through drawing, through writing, the hands, the wrists, the shoulders tend to get really tight. And so allowing for some space to be created. Good. Inhale, bring the head back to center. Turn the fingertips to face the mat and press the wrist away. Good. And then create a fist with the hand, reach the arm forward, keep pressing the wrist forward, and then take the left hand to cup the right wrist or the right hand. Bring the arms into the sky, and then pull the right hand to the left, creating that side body stretch, but really lengthening out from the front of the wrist. And notice the stretch through the forearm all the way down through the side body. Good. And then inhale, come back to center. Release the hands by the hips. Roll the shoulders down the back 3 times. And then roll the shoulders forward. And before we switch sides, if you need to make any adjustments with the seat, make any adjustments you need to. Maybe you switch the positioning of the feet. And then when you're ready, pressing the left hand out to the left side, again, as if you're holding up a wall next to you. And just pausing here to notice the stretching in the wrist. On your next exhale, the right ear comes towards the right shoulder. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale and inhale. Good. 3 more. Following the pace of your breath. Last time, and hold with the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keep activating through the hand. And trying to gently move through this body. Using the breath to create a little bit more space, just 2 more breaths. And then inhale, bring the head back to center. Turn the fingertips to face the floor, press the wrist away. And then bring a fist into the hand, reach that forward, keep reaching the fist forward, or the wrist forward rather, and then the right hand cups the left. Reach the arms into the sky. Bring the left hand over to the right as you create that side body stretch, getting long through the front of the arm. Good. And then inhale, come back to center, gently release the hands. Roll the shoulders back once again. And then roll the shoulders forward. Good. Allow the body to find stillness and just notice the space at either side of the neck. We're going to create a couple of circles with the whole head so we get into the front and the back. So start by dropping the left ear towards the left shoulder. Bring the chin towards the chest. Pause here. And then right ear towards right shoulder. Bring the back of the head all the way around. And then left ear towards left shoulder. Maybe it's an inhale forward and an exhale back. Maybe vice versa. Just take one more circle in this direction. And then again, without stopping, completely circling in the opposite direction. And then allow the body to find stillness. Shift the weight to one side and we'll extend the legs forward. Once you have the legs extended forward, point and flex the toes, bringing some sensation back into the feet. Maybe rotate the ankles in one direction and then in the opposite direction. Good. And then cross the right ankle over the left. Inhale to stretch the arms into the sky. And really hook the feet here. As you exhale, begin to hinge forward. The hands can rest on either side of the legs. The hands can rest to the feet or to the shins. Really allowing the heart to be the thing that's leading the pose. And noticing with the right leg crossed over the left, a little extra length in the hamstring and maybe some space in the IT band being created. And so much of who we are in all ways is interconnected. And so as we're creating space at the heart, clearing away space in the hips, in the hamstrings, allowing for there to be more clarity in all parts of our space, whether that be in the physical, in the mental, the emotional, all of the different bodies that we inhibit. We'll take one more breath here. And then on your next inhale, start to come all the way up. Uncross the legs and switch sides. Left ankle will come over the right, hooking the feet. Inhale to find space in the spine by reaching the arms into the sky. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, maybe hands rest to the shins, maybe framing the legs. Letting go of the idea that we need to reach the hands for the feet in order to get the benefits of the pose. The hands resting into the mat to press into the hands and really draw the heart forward gives us access to the space to create. And so wherever you are, knowing that it's exactly where you need to be. And just 2 more breaths. And then inhale, come all the way up. Unwind the legs, bend the legs at the knees, and shift the seat forward so you're at about the center of the mat. From here, begin to roll onto the back body. Keep your pillow, your blanket, whatever it is that you have, keep that handy. We're going to start by finding some length in the side body. So extend the legs forward, cross the left ankle over the right again, and then walk the heels over to the right side. Once you have that, reach the arms into the sky. Take the left wrist into the right hand and draw the wrist over to the right. And we're going to pause here for about a full minute. Really gentle side body stretch, creating as deep of a crescent as feels good for you. So walking the heels over to the right as much as you'd like, and same thing with the wrist. And then slowly inhaling your way back to center, unwinding the feet so the feet can walk to center, bringing the hands back and crossing right ankle over left to slide the heels towards the left corner of the mat. Left hand will grab around the right wrist and gently make our way into that crescent shape. And just inviting in the length, inviting in the space, letting go of that forced action that we might hold on to, and allowing, settling into the being and letting go of the doing. Good. Just 2 more breaths. And then slowly unwind the feet, walking the feet back to center, releasing the hands, taking the hands by the hips, bending the legs at the knees so the feet come flat into the mat. Just taking a moment to pause to let the back body settle onto the mat. And then roll to either the left or the right side to press up and grab the blanket roll, the bolster, the pillow, whatever it is that you might have. We're going to keep the knees stacked and we're going to be sitting on the left hip. So the knees stacking, resting on the left hip or sitting bone. Bring the pillow against the body, against that left hip, and then take the fingertips to frame your prop. From here, allow the heart to start to melt to the prop, and the left ear can rest or the right ear can rest, depending on how deep into the twist you want to go. Once you get there, forearms can meet the mat. And if the prop feels like it's really far away, if it's like a small towel or something, if you have books, blocks, or anything that can prop that up to create almost a ramp, you can allow for anything to bring the prop closer to you so that you can find the body in full rest here. And coming into just a gentle spinal twist to settle into your space. Good. And if you don't have any props, you can remain reclined on the back body and keep the knees stacked so the knees will drop over to the left and the gaze will come to the right. And so wherever you are, we'll pause for about 5 breaths. And then as you're ready, beginning to make your way up, pressing into the hands, walking the fingertips towards the knees, coming onto the heels to shift the knees in the opposite direction. So you'll lift the seat, come to center, and then shift the right hip to be connected to the prop. Knees are stacking. And then the fingertips will come to frame your prop. So right hand comes behind, left arm comes in front, twisting the heart over the prop, allowing it to meet you and then resting here. And if you were lying flat on the back with no prop, just allowing the knees to rest in the opposite direction, switching sides. And once you found the position that's working best for you today, the eyes softly closing, the body beginning to come to rest. Good. And then as you're ready, inhaling to rise all the way up, walking the hands over the prop, shifting the knees back to center. If you have that blanket roll propped up on a block or anything, and you'd like to keep it there, you're more than welcome to do that. This time, the roll is going to come to the back of the spine or the base of the spine. And from here, the whole spine will be supported by your prop, allowing the back body to rest. The legs can extend, and then the backs of the hands can rest to the mat with the palms facing up. If you'd like to go a little bit further into the shoulders and the chest, you can cactus the elbows, and that'll just offer a gentle opening in the front of the heart. If you don't have a blanket roll or a prop or anything, you can come to recline flat on the back. And same thing, if you cactus the elbows, it offers a gentle opening in the heart. And if that's not what you're going for, hands can rest by the hips. Good. And whatever shape the body wants to take on in this moment, allowing yourself to be supported in the best way possible. And finding the position that's going to offer you the deepest opening and the deepest clearing. As we start to rest into our final shape, we're going to take about 2 minutes here in this pose. And then if you'd like to fully enter Shavasana without props, I'll cue you to release them. But for right now, pausing in this moment, pausing with this breath. And finding this opening at the heart to create a clearing for you to settle into the intention that you set a little bit deeper. So if you'd like to stay here, option to stay here. If there's any other adjustments that you like to make in your space before settling in, I invite you to do so at this time. If you'd like to release the props, you can mindfully roll to one side to gently release the prop and lie flat on the back. And then if the eyes aren't already closed, softly beginning to close the eyes. And with the eyes closed, allowing yourself to settle a little bit further into this space. Being reminded once again that these pauses, these moments we take to rest and to restore, allow us to get grounded further into our own hearts, And when we find this connection and this foundation here, we're less inclined to reach outside of ourselves to find those moments of peace. And in turn, we find a little bit more contentment through each and every moment. So, as you're navigating this journey inward as we make our way towards Shavasana, using the breath to start to release the outer edges and to imagine this physical space beginning to dissolve and to melt away. Now, as you release the attachment to the physical space, tuning in deeper to the subtler layers and allowing those layers, the energy, the breath, the heart, to be the place where you start to settle back and settle down, but most importantly, settle in as you move a little bit deeper into Shavasana. So as you're ready, just bring the awareness back into the breath, beginning to notice how the breath interacts with the body and noticing if there's more space for the breath to navigate. And whether that space be created in the physical or the mind. Often when the mind feels cluttered, you bring tension into the physical space. All of these layers are so connected. And so as you give yourself permission to rest, to pause, to release attachments, thoughts, judgments, notice how that translates into the physical. And as the breath begins to deepen, maybe inspiring movement into the physical space once again through gentle wiggling of the fingers and toes. If you still have props beneath you, you're welcome to roll off of them to one side and place them off the mat so you can recline flat on the back. And as you invite in this gentle movement, as awareness grows a little bit deeper, the movements can grow larger, eventually coming to a place where the arms reach overhead and the feet press long, finding this space from the fingers to the toes, mindfully moving, intentionally moving without rushing, without expectation for the end goal, and allowing ourselves to be present with each new movement, new sensation in the body. And then as you're ready, circling the arms around, bring the hands to rest by the hips, bending the legs at the knees so the feet will come flat into the mat, and rolling to either the left or the right side. Just taking a moment to pause on whichever side you're feeling drawn to. And as you pause on the one side, pausing to bring gratitude into your space for yourself, for showing up for this practice and for showing up on this mat, for giving yourself permission to explore, and for allowing yourself to navigate through this journey with contentment, finding peace in every moment along the way. From this place of deep gratitude, begin to press up into a comfortable seated position. Once you've arrived at that comfortable seat, the hands can meet in a prayer position in front of the heart, softly tilting the chin in towards the heart. And as you pause here, just as we started, pausing to humbly bow to this heart, to the wisdom, to the courage and the resilience that lies here. And may you find a foundation in this heart, a foundation that brings you contentment, that brings you peace and joy in the journey. And may you allow this heart to fill all of your actions, all of your words, and all of your thoughts, whether it be in your practice on or off of the mat today and every single day. We'll take one more deep breath in together and a long, slow breath out. And this heart and this divine spirit within me honors, sees, and deeply bows to that same spirit reflected back in you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me this evening, this afternoon. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. I will be here. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.